Hey guys, it's Monica and welcome back. So today we are going to talk about glittering on plastic. And in addition to that, we will be using an epoxy alternative called Grand Finale by Crystalac. So let's get into it. So I'm using a 16-ounce plastic soda can. Yes, um, the soda can glasses have evolved, y'all. They got plastic now, boo. And so these are available on my website. Probably not, they're currently sold out at the time of making this audio, but they will be coming back in stock this weekend. So if you go on the product page and sign up, I always send it out to those people who have signed up on the link first. You can see I'm knocking the crap out of this cup. Why you cannot hear me tapping on it because I have muted the video. Which is so you know it is plastic. And there's a really little piece of cardboard in there. Ignore that. But yeah, if you are interested in purchasing these, just sign up on the link below, and I always send it out to those people first, and then I'll send it out like via email communication to the masses. But if you want to get a jump on it, there you go. And so I'm just going to go ahead and use a foam insert, which I'll also link below, and put it on my cup handle. And so I get a lot of questions. Oh, and this is top down glitter. It's like a neon peachy, orangish pink iridescent glitter. She's beautiful. But yeah, I get a lot of questions as to glittering on plastic, using epoxy on plastic, those type of things. And so I'm going to show you my method that I like to use when glittering on plastic. And so, um, where am I going with this, girl? So this is actually my second time recording this audio because the first time I don't know, I was talking a little too much shit and I wasn't actually teaching y'all anything, and people come here to learn. So I was like, girl, wind it back and teach. And I was like, I was just talking too much, and I feel like now I'm doing that again. So let's get to it. So I like to use Mod Podge when I am glittering on plastic, because if you use epoxy, then epoxy has a chemical reaction which causes it to heat up. And you don't want to heat up plastic, especially directly on plastic, and there's not like multi layers between it. And so I always recommend when you're going to glitter on plastic to use an adhesive, some type of glue like a Mod Podge, or I know Crystalac makes an adhesive. Truth be told, I think they're all the same. So I would pick the cheapest thing, baby. Don't use Elmer's glue. That's not what I said. That is not what I said. But get you like a Mod Podge. Any of the Mod Podges will work. It's neither here nor there because at the end of the day, you're putting something on top of it. So what it looks like on the bottom, whether it's the shiny one, the matte one, the dishwasher safe one, does not matter. And so I'm going to be doing 2 layers of glitter. I also recommend when you are smoothing out your glitter, I feel like when you glitter plastic, it's a lot more unforgiving than it is on metal. And by that, I mean if it's like too thick on like one side of the brush and it's like streaky on the other side of the brush, those streaks tend to still show up when glittering on plastic, where I feel as though on metal they kind of smooth themselves out. I don't know why that happens. Maybe it's just a me thing, but I just feel like when you're glittering on plastic, you definitely have to like be on your game, because like I said, it'll be a little less unforgiving, a little more unforgiving, and it'll look cheap. And we're not going for like elementary school arts and crafts babies. Like, we are business women. Like, especially to my girlies that want to make this a business. Oh, girl, I have so many comments on some of the comments y'all leave, because I worry about y'all so much. And I know I say that every video. I really worry about y'all. Somebody asked me could they cure their cup in the oven. I said, baby, did you see me put this cup in the oven? Did you see me put the cup in the oven? Then don't put your cup in the oven unless y'all want to blow up your house. That's between you and Progressive. Anyways, so I was just cleaning up the edge with my nail because, again, glue. And so we're using Crystalac Grande Finale. And you're probably like, oh, we're not using epoxy. No, this is an epoxy alternative. What that means is that this is a water-based coating that after multiple layers, you get the same effect as you do with epoxy. And you're probably going to ask, like, what is the difference between like this, a Hyperion, and a polyacrylic? Not much. When I look at the ingredient sheets on both, they have the same ingredients, but my assumption is they're just in different values and produce slightly different results. But the mechanism in which they're doing these things are very similar. They're all poly-based, water-based polyurethane coatings. And so you need multiple coats in order to achieve that glass-like finish. And so with this one specifically, with the Crystalac Grande Finale, you have to wait 2 hours between coats. Those instructions will differ based on whichever one you were using. So always make sure you follow the instructions given by the manufacturer. Don't just listen to what I'm saying, because as most people know, for the most part, I do not read the instructions. I just jump into stuff. And so you want to apply this in thin-ish layers. And when I say thin-ish, is that it doesn't need to be completely smoothed out, because again, when you put it on there, especially with your finger, um, it's not going to be like super smooth like epoxy looks when you first put it on, but I feel like it also works best when your layer looks a little milky when you walk away. So you should still be, it should look a little cloudy to you. It doesn't have to, if it looks like glass when you walk away after you put it on there, it's probably on there just a little bit too thin. And you want a little bit of milkiness when you are doing these layers. Layers, coats, whatever you want to call them. All right, let's also address the glove thing really quick. And so these type of coatings are going to tell you don't need a glove, but y'all are just fucking nasty. So y'all do not wash your hands. So baby, put something on your hand, your glove, your finger, whatever you choose to do. You can also apply this with a brush. I just feel like a brush soaks up too much product, and it does work better with a hand application. So if y'all want to be one of the people that's out here thugging it, just letting your finger raw dog the material in the cup, that is on you. I do not recommend it. Like I said, I just use these little finger koozies, and that works best for me. You don't have to waste the whole glove. So boom. Next, after I say every 3 layers you should sand, you're probably like you did 4. I consider that first layer a sealing layer because I could have sealed with polyacrylic, but again, because these are so similarly chemically composed, I just use this also as the sealant as I do the top coat. And so I consider the first layer sealer and then 3 more layers. So when I first do it, layer 4 is actually the layer I will sand after. Now when it comes to sanding, I'm using a superfine sandpaper. This is from the Dollar Tree. I don't recommend the ones from the Dollar Tree. They're not that good, but baby, I bought it. I got to use it, right? And so when you're sanding this material, the Grand Finale, you want to try to get it smoothish. And by that, I mean, you don't have enough layers on your cup to sand it completely smooth. What we're looking here to do is much like with epoxy, even though this is the epoxy alternative, we want to hit the peaks and valleys if they exist. When you sand this, it's still going to look a little streaky. And to me, streaky when it comes to Grand Finale is fine because the next layer will smooth all that out, and then it'll start getting more and more even because again, the material will self-level itself. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to sand it to the bare bones because baby, by that point, you'll probably sand it to the glitter. So you did that to yourself. All right. Also, I don't wipe with alcohol. This is just a wet paper towel. I do not like to use chemicals on the water-based sealers because it can cause a reaction. And so we don't want that. So we're just going to keep it simple, keep it basic, water. If you use a cloth that is too damp, please immediately come back and wipe it with a dry paper towel just in case because you don't want that. It's not cured yet. Remember that. It's not filled. I think full cure is 72 hours with this. I could be wrong. Again, go to the people website and read it. But full cure, I believe, is 72 hours. And so it hasn't been 72 hours since we put that first, second, or that last layer on it. So it is not fully cured. So just be careful when you're doing things like wiping it with water or anything like that. So I did 3 more coats off the camera. And I'm going to sand again. And so you can see we're already starting to get that shine, that brilliance. And so now we're seeing how this cup looks like it was coated in an epoxy. And so I decided that you could stop right there and call it a cup. That's cool. Of course, if you would have sanded, you want to do at least 1 more coat to seal that. But I decided I wanted to do a UV DTF because I try to give you guys like a full scope of what one of these cups would look like. And so you could use a vinyl decal or anything like that. I chose to use a UV DTF. The biggest thing with this is that you want to wait. I say wait at least 12 hours from your last coat to do this. Because when you're putting anything sticky, whether it be tape, vinyl, transfer tape, anything like that, if it's not fully cured, you run the risk of that adhesive sticking on to your glitter and ripping it off. Ask me how I know. So definitely make sure that you have put some time between that last coat and wanting to stick any kind of adhesive, sticker, or anything like that on here. Because again, when you go to pull it off, it will pull the glitter and what you just done right with it. And once you pull off one little patch of glitter, the cup is done for. Like, it's over with, girls. Lights out, throw it in the trash, pull out your hair, scream at your husband because it's his fault, right? Right. And so very slowly pull this, what if you're doing a UV DTF, pull this back. Again, also making sure you're not moving too fast in case you got a little soft spot on that thing. You don't want it to up and pull off. But yeah, with all UV DTFs, definitely just take your time. If you're interested in UV DTFs, I'll leave a link to this one, but I have them decals and wraps over on the website, PeriodSixGlitter.com. That's also where you can pick up the glitter top down. That's the glitter with PeriodSixGlitter.com. And of course, the cup from PeriodSixGlitter.com, because I got to plug myself, y'all. I be forgetting to plug myself, and y'all don't be coming to my website and supporting my business, but y'all want to sit here and kiki with me in the comments, baby. I got bills. So help a sister out. I'm trying to be a small business entrepreneur. I know I'm not going to get rich, but dang, help your girl keep the lights on over here. Y'all know Colorado is expensive. Okay, anyways, and so I'm going to go back in and seal this in. You could have stopped. Once you put the UVDTF decal on, you could have just stopped. Especially if you had put it on after and you hadn't sanded before you put it on. You could have just stopped and the cut would have been fine. UVDTF decals have years of shelf life. But I went ahead and sealed mine in with 3 more coats. And so you can see this is the final product. It's nice and smooth and sealed in. And you've glittered a plastic cup and you have like an epoxy-like finish. And so this is one of the alternatives to my girlies who have pets, children, just don't want to deal with epoxy and want something that's a lot simpler. Don't have to worry about mixing things and things like that, wearing a mask, the chemical exposure. This is for you, baby. You can do this on, same method works on all other materials. Stainless steel tumblers, all that. So glass, all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Follow us on all socials, Period6Designs. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one.